you would do the couple skate where one of you skated forward and the other of you skated backwards so you could face each other.
Too fancy for me, love. Before I forget, this week's sponsor is Straighten Your Ass Soda. There's been quite a few nights sitting in front of the TV where we're just pumping salad into our mouths like zombies. I'm having nightmares about Italian parsley and lemon zest. So next time you see me in a tank top that says "Spank me harder," you'll know where it came from.
We're out of triple sex, so I can only do an arrogant cadaver dog. Will that work?
Change that to a small jihadist cash register. Neat. And one paroled gynecologist shaken, not stirred. From the S to the N to the A double G, Mark and Stace don't do this for free.
This is the Snaggletooth Rock and Roll Podcast.
We're back. It's been a busy show week for both shows. So,
Sure has.
yeah. We even got out for a bit last night.
Yeah.
To see our friend Ron West's band, The Cultivated. If you're in the area and you like dark 80s music, get out and see them.
Non-US based. After I've seen them a bunch of times and they play like 80s style kind of gothy rock like The Church and Little Split Ends and Cult.
Psychedelic Fetish.
And Psychedelic First. And it became apparent to me that they never play any songs by American bands. Everybody's either from Australia, New Zealand, England. So we had a long chat about it. And I came to realize that our friend has never really listened to Danzig. And I was like, you have a goth rock band and you've never listened to Danzig? I think we need to get on that. So anyway, good fun had by all musical geek outs, etc. Yeah.
We even stayed out till 11 p.m.
Wow.
Like crazy.
Crazy. I know. So of course we took a nap first, but
Yeah.
that's because we're geriatric.
Yeah, we have to get up at like 6:15 and a.m. So
Yeah. Anyway.
Gonna tap out.
So this friend of ours, she's kind of a health weight loss lunatic. I have several people that I know that are like this. I don't know how we got on the topic, but she started asking me what time I eat dinner at night. And I told her I usually don't really eat dinner. My last snack is usually around 3:30 or 4 before I go to pick up Stace. And she goes, wait a minute, you don't eat again until when? I was like, the next day, breakfast. She's like 9:30. She goes, so you don't eat anything for 17 and a half hours? And so, well, I prefer to think that I eat very well for 6.5 hours, actually,
hello, intermittent fasting. It's all trendy, bitches.
Yeah. Aren't we? We're so topical. Yes. Incidentally, a great way to shut up that obnoxious uncle or work colleague that asks you obnoxious questions like, any luck with that promotion you were working on? Or how are the kids' college classes going? Just look them right in the eye and go, how's your diet going? They will immediately backpedal. Even if they're not on one, they'll go, well, there's good days and bad days, I guess. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go take a walk. Put this bag of chips back. He totally turns the tables. Great thing to say. How's your diet going? So, which brings me to another story that I think I may have told like on the season 1, but it's worth retelling. When I was in the first grade, I'll never forget this. My father used to pack apples in my lunch every day. I didn't like them, but I never said anything. I just kept stuffing them in my desk. We had like the old school desk where the slot was underneath for your books, right? Well, one day I complained to my teacher. It's my fault. I complained to the teacher that I couldn't fit my books into my desk. They were sticking out. So she started pulling the apples out. And for dramatic effect, she started lining them up on the chalkboard ledge. 24 apples. I remember the amount. It became like a riot. The entire class was like, 23, 24. I was so upset. I felt humiliated. There were 24 chances there for me to eliminate scurvy, and I missed every single one of them, apparently. So,
or you missed apple for a teacher day. You could have just doled them out to the teachers.
Some of them were in pretty rough shape. Hadn't been in my desk for
probably more like applesauce.
Yeah. Fast forward to the 3rd grade. A delightful experience. There was this kid in the 3rd grade that he didn't like his Twinkies. I loved Twinkies, but the only way I would get them is he would hit me in the head with them. So every day around lunchtime, all of a sudden I hear, yay! Sometimes he had 2 or 3 of them. Okay, so maybe my vision got a little blurry here and there, but the concussion protocol was worth it for the cream filling. Delicious. I didn't mind getting in the head at all. Yeah.
I've never heard anyone get hit in the head and then say, yeah.
No, I did it every day. Yeah. Whenever I have Stace make a salad, She tends to make
I
salad like there's 10 people living here,
cook
but it's just
everything because I was used to when my kids were still here, and I did it for Christmas
you got
Eve
two skinny
too,
people
but,
living here now.
So I make really big salads. They're great. They're really good salads, but after the second or third day, what I like to refer to as the salad panic sets in.
There's still a bunch of that salad left. We got to finish it today. The lettuce is starting to go. I don't think it'll keep till Thursday. If we don't eat it today, it's going to go bad and start taking things hostage in the refrigerator.
I always find ways to work the salad into other meals. What? Yeah, it's a salad omelet. You never heard of this?
Yeah.
Hey, try one of my weird salad cookies. And then the cats are just sitting there looking at their bowl, looking at me, staring suspiciously at the salad. I'm like, what? You eat grass? You eat plants?
You're an herbivore. Dig in, Fluffy. There's been quite a few nights sitting in front of the TV where we're just pumping salad into our mouths like zombies. I'm having nightmares about Italian parsley and lemon zest and potentially soggy croutons. It's like, must finish salad. It's going to go bad.
I keep thinking I'm chopped myself silly making this. Is there like a donation center for starving supermodels we could maybe give this to?
The Salad Panic, starring Mark and Stace. Okay, so switching gears for a moment. Salad jokes, people, they're going to be huge. I know, we all know that our phones and the Google Cast and all are always listening because, I'll talk about maybe we'll talk about getting new table and chairs for the dining room. And then suddenly in between my Yahoo emails, it's flooded with furniture deals, it's listening. Or I'll talk about getting my brother some sneakers for his birthday. And then I've got hundreds of offers for Converse between my email threads,
Well, even dumb stuff that I'm not interested in, like we have this doctor, Dr. Sunny Goal, who refers to us.
Mhm.
And I had to Google his number because our doctor wanted me to call him and get some notes on a patient. Now all I get are Sunny Goal ads because I Googled him once.
Before I forget, this week's sponsor is Straighten Your Ass Soda. It will cleanse your palate and straighten your ass. So there you go.
Who doesn't want a straight ass?
Mhm.
I was going for a flat belly, but I'll take a straight ass.
Anyway, so getting back to always listening, things started getting a little weird around our house because my Instagram feed was pimping soft canvas bags the other day in multiple colors, personalized to say, "Get it, cowgirl," and "I'm falling off the edge, babe." So then I quietly mentioned to Stace, I said, "Is it possible our phones are listening when we're having sex?"
If that was true, it would say stuff like, "Get out of here, cat."
Facebook started to insert pictures of hoodies emblazoned with "Deeper, give it to me. Ow, my knee." So next time you see me in a tank top that says "Spank me harder," you'll know where it came from. And mind your own business, people. Anyway, you're probably wondering why there's cocktails behind us. Well, shout out to Blaine Cook. I am fascinated by terrible cocktail names or even colorful cocktail names.
Feel like stumping the bartender? Ask for an alien secretion or a Belfast carjacking. Let's just say you've got an old school bartender that mixes everything you ask for impossible to stump, even if he has to go to the medicine cabinet for a frickin' Vicks 45.
All right, Lopez, we got our drink order ready to go. I'll take a 3-legged Bosnian, an impotent cadaver dog, and a skanky librarian. Hold the fruit.
We're out of triple sex, so I can only do an arrogant cadaver dog. Will that work?
Change that to a small jihadist cash register. Neat. And one paroled gynecologist, shaken, not stirred.
Oh, sorry. We no longer carry Dr. Pepper. I can sub in Jolt Cola and make a house arrest gynecologist.
House arrest? Sounds like a diabetic piano tuner to me. Let me check the recipe. Maybe I'll change it to a karate chop martini with extra kick. Okay, want to talk about our feature interview this week?
Our feature interview this week is with none other than Jerry Sofwan of the Wisconsin Doom Band and our latest musical obsession, Vanishing Kids.
Yep.
We have a great chat with Jerry about how he came to join the band, how he originally came to play the bass, and some of his favorite inspirational artists, as well as discussing the quality of local tacos in the Madison area. You'll hear the phrase, "It's a good time to be a vanishing kid," and it'll make sense to you after you check it out. So Stay tuned
sorry.
for that.
I'm starting to think that everyone thinks their local tacos are the best around. Oh, you'll
Jim
find out
Gaffigan
more.
said, cheese, meat, vegetable. I mean, tortilla, you can't go wrong.
All right, so let's play a song. This is Vanishing Kids with Only You. Okay, let's talk about Patreon. The site is patreon.com/Snaggletooth Podcasts. And for $6.66 a month, you get more Mark and Stace than you can possibly handle. Lots of bonus content that you can't get anywhere else.
Exercise tips, wonderful tricks and tips in the kitchen. A while back, I did my refrigerator pickles, which were a big hit, and lots of things I've learned to make with the air fryer.
Yeah. This week, it's all about the video game Killer Instinct. I write a review of Killer Instinct 1 and 2, and then Killer Instinct 3. 1 and 2 are Mick Gordon, and 3 are Cell Dweller. So very, very interesting industrial video game reviews. So get on over to Patreon and check us out, because from the S to the N to the A double G, Mark and Stace don't do this for free.
There we go. There you have it.
All right. Remember going to SkateLand
Ugh.
in the early 80s? It was the mecca before we learned to drive of like social hangout in the 80s.
I remember crying one night because it snowed and my mom said we couldn't go. I cried so hard they took me anyway.
It was, and everybody was there too from school. Mom and Dad would drop us off in our best acid wash jeans, or if we were feeling saucy, maybe parachute pants. And it's the
Yeah.
zipper sounds it would make.
Yeah, I always needed on my ass to say Jordache or Gloria Vanderbilt. That had to be.
Had to be a name on your ass.
Yeah, had to be on my butt.
Shirt collars up, preferably starched heavily. Headbands optional. Comb in the pocket. We waited outside, freezing cold, anticipation of the hot spot of the neighborhood finally opening.
Yeah, no matter how great we dressed, all of us rented those hideous skates with colors that shouldn't have been put together ever, like neon yellow and navy blue with orange wheels, big ugly plastic stoppers the size of giant cupcakes on the front.
I remember those.
Sitting down on that weird carpeted bench made out of a cat tree.
Why was it carpeted? It wasn't like a sofa. It was like a carpeted platform or something.
Yeah, this was a true story. I would, be talking on the phone to someone while sitting on the toilet while wearing skates, and you would suddenly start to like go forward because the stall always seemed like it was on a slant. It was slightly downhill. It was weird. It's a weird experience.
We'd stash our street shoes and maybe our boombox that we had to bring with us in one of those steel lockers that were actually free. Remember, they didn't like charge for that? It's hard to believe.
You had to try not to lose that key though, or you were doomed.
Here's the thing though, making our way onto the rink was like merging onto the interstate with no protection whatsoever. Pushing our way onto that buffed wooden floor under multiple disco balls. Sometimes people would injure themselves trying to get out of the way, and they'd wipe out against the wall. Then you'd like see them in the parking lot later, and you wonder why they were giving you a dirty look,
We all wanted to be as cool as the black and white shirted skate herder dudes that were always showing off their ability to skate backwards and kind of dance.
They're like failed referees or something.
Yeah, they had a whistle. After a while, we'd head over to the snack shop where it always smelled like burnt pizza and try to get to our food table without wiping out some toddler birthday party.
Remember people rushing into the rink like combat vets advancing on a beachhead when Dove's Cry would come on, or Rock This Town from the Stray Cats?
Yeah, I never understood the practice of the all-girl skate. All the guys would line the walls of the rink.
I don't remember doing this.
It happened multiple times.
It
to me
happened.
at different. I actually went to another skate rink. And
Well, I
they
think
did
we
a
went
good
to
job.
we went only to the one in Putty Hill.
I always went to that one. It was where Bel Air Athletic Club is now.
Okay.
But anyway, all the girls would skate and the guys would line the walls of the rink, and sometimes they would just extend a hand over the little half wall, and you were enticed to slap their hand and keep skating. But the first time I did it, I was like, oh my God, did I just agree to have his child? What is the meaning of this ritual? Is this a binding contract?
You should have done. You should have gotten a little closer and smacked him in the face. That would have been great. You wouldn't expect that. Yeah. Then they'd announce couple skate, and that's when the drama really would ensue. Michael's seen skating with Jennifer when he's really going steady with Maria. So scandalous.
Plus, I always had to give the disclaimer if anybody asked me, I can't skate backwards.
What,
You're gonna
guys
have to
wanted to skate with you backwards?
you would do the couple skate where one of you skated forward and the other of you skated backwards so you could face each other.
Too fancy
I
for
can't-
me,
I
love.
can't.
Too
We
fancy.
would have had to do the side by side.
We would have needed a walker.
The only time I got really hurt at SkateLand
Mhm.
was when I took my kids and I
Oh.
felt the need to be out there and someone, a small child, like collapsed in front of me. So in order to avoid running over said child, I slowed down and somebody ran into the back of me, like some horrible car accident, and actually flipped over my head. Their skate hit the back of my head. My
Ow.
tailbone hit the floor. And of course, being older, my tailbone hurt for like 3 weeks.
That's a very bad injury there.
I was a glancing blow off my head. Luckily, it was
Wow.
like tailbone that actually hurt worse. Don't be over 35 and be landing on your tailbone on that wood floor.
Her tailbone has healed marvelously. I can attest to that. And Google knows, apparently. Anyway, so it's time for us to do the latest edition of Gary Shirk, Police Detective. This week, we are going to discuss Gary Shirk in Operation Birdwatch. It was 11:31 a.m. on 4 December. I approached the Enterprise I'd heard so much about, one Chick-fil-A restaurant on Annandale and 15th, a popular lunchtime hotspot for chicken-based consumables with a cow spokesperson. The first thing I noticed was a heavy volume of vehicles that stretched from the window all the way to the neighboring county. The line moved quickly, with maroon-frocked acolytes approaching cars in suspicious fashion. They had electronic devices asking for order details with absurd positivity.
Obviously, this is some kind of cult. Each of their disciples muttering "my pleasure" at random intervals without being prompted. There seems to be an unspoken ration in the sauces as well, as there was a detectable raising of the eyebrows when I asked for 3 packets of zesty buffalo.
Come on.
However, they repeated the same mantra. Admittedly, the waffle fries were quite tasty, so I let them off with a warning.
11:43 a.m. on 5 December, I approached the institution known as Kentucky Fried Chicken on Rossville and 3rd. Despite the location being directly across the street from Chick-fil-A building, the parking lot was deserted and there was a homeless man sleeping in the doorway. I told him to move along or risk me running him in on a 1045D for vagrancy. Turns out he was just waiting for the Chick-fil-A to open as well.
I nearly lost my balance upon entering the store as the floor was suspiciously coated in grease. A wet floor caution sign was put up as a red herring. There was nobody at the counter, and I noticed the trash receptacles were all at capacity. An old gray-haired man in a white suit was pictured on the wall. I can only assume it was some kind of Employee of the Month honor. Oddly, there was no explanation. Seems like their most popular product was the KFC Famous Bowl, a dish that looked like they'd swept food debris off the floor and mixed it with mashed potatoes. I declined on the menu and busted them on a code 47E for public safety and a 35W for general sanitation. I mean, who serves chicken in a bucket?
I'm Gary Shirk, police detective. Okay, let's play another song from Vanishing Kids. Why don't you introduce us one up?
This is Demon Glove.
Okay, let's talk about imperfect foods.
So, as you know, Imperfect Spoons.
Imperfect spoons.
I don't know what I'm thinking about.
Google detected our imperfect spoons, but they led to fantastic
like
tech.
ads for spoons now.
Okay.
So you might ask yourself, what can you get delivered from Imperfect? I could show you things we've gotten. You can get almost anything you need for your pantry, for your big salad. So I've got some show and tell from our past order. Plus, it is a point systems with Imperfect. So this week I traded in our points for some free cheese.
We're already in
They're
it.
already open.
We're already in it.
They have great shredded. They have great sliced cheeses, stuff you don't always see as well, like sliced Gouda. Look at this lovely bunch of carrots that we got.
There's a lot of
from
stem.
Imperfect.
Where's Bugs Bunny when you need him?
Really? Or maybe there's goats that eat Christmas trees. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. Here. They have lunch meat items. You want to stand in line at the deli? This also gets delivered right to your door. This roast beef is delicious.
I predicted that will be annihilated tonight.
And pretty low You can get cute little cucumbers
Oh no, another big salad.
for your big salad as
Must
well.
eat salad.
Tomatoes, they got them. You can get them.
That one's already.
Apples, look at the nice, lovely apple. And these are products that would have gone to waste. They might have little spots on them or something that they would have got rejected at the store. So you're saving.
Just line them up around the chalkboard.
Giving all this to the dog. He's looking at me like, what is this? Need stuff for your pantry? They have their own brand of olive oil.
It's nice. Yeah.
Yep. And this all comes in the same box too.
Don't forget to straighten your ass.
Don't forget to straighten your ass. And then if you're saying, well, what can you do with the roast beef? Well, they have lovely little rolls. These are brioche rolls that you can put them on.
It might not make it through this episode.
You can make a lovely sandwich. And they even have canned things like beans. They've got spices. To use our link, you too can get all these yummy things. Skip the trip to the supermarket. You won't even have to remember your reusable shopping bags. You won't have to stand in line at the deli. Plus, you are reducing your carbon footprint by taking groceries that otherwise would have gone to waste. So you're saving the planet too. Any order over $60 ships for free to your door.
There you go. Okay. The time has come for collectorbation, and this week we are going to focus on the incredible 1969 album Chicago Transit Authority. The incredible Right Side Up album Chicago Transit Authority. Why don't you take a look?
7 guys from the Windy City, each with stunning musical pedigree and a shared vision, concoct mass quantities of brassy big band rock and roll. Ooh, Chicago's debut sounds like the 800-pound gorilla of jazz rock emerging from the jungle, like the offspring of Hendrix and them channeled through Sly or something.
They're not shy. It's an in-your-face from the very first song, Introduction. Bold and funky, Cetera's warm bass providing the perfect foil for Lowndes' trumpet solo and Terry Kath's wild guitar. The rest of the album follows suit, dropping song after song of hook-ripe rock and roll packed with hard-charging performances, overflowing with R&B magic. Does anybody really know what time it is? Swells with 60s pop, sunny vocals, and tinkling piano crisscrossing like magic. Terry Kath's explosive psychedelic guitar stunts are all over the album, pushing the energy level even higher, particularly on the Spencer Davis Group cover, I'm a Man. That groovy wah action kicks all kinds of ass. And the 14-plus minute closer, Liberation, essentially a blustery jam between Cetera and Kath. So let's play a song. This is I'm a Man. Okay, continuing on, you want to read some stats about Chicago?
All right, some stats about Chicago, particularly in the early days. Keep in mind, they didn't get great reviews from critics, and the first 3 albums were double albums. The debut hit on the number 17 on the album charts. It stayed on Billboard charts for 155 weeks, was certified gold, and eventually double platinum.
Chicago 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 all went to number 1. To date, the band has 23 gold, 18 platinum, and 8 multi-platinum albums worldwide. This record was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2014. I don't even know what the hell that is, but it sounds impressive. And these other 2 I also recommend. I went through my Chicago phase, which is probably still going on. Oh, that's the same thing. Chicago 2 is fantastic. Chicago 3 is fantastic. I think I remember reading that their 4 LP live album that kind of focuses on this material also went multi-platinum. I mean, we're talking about one of the most successful rock and roll bands of all time.
And it seems like it was a little bit of a slow burn to get there. People had to get through the 4th album to finally notice them.
At any rate, Chicago Transit Authority debut has it all. Great songs, thrilling performances, and a rock edge that never comes across too sappy or descends into instrumental tedium. The stars align perfectly for that one. So here is a song called Poem 58. Ah, yes. Imagine dragging all those instruments across the country on those big tours. Good Lord.
May
Anyway.
as well have had a trumpet and an ostrich. It probably would be equally hard.
Well, you want to introduce the interview?
This is our interview with Jerry, as he goes by just Jerry.
It's a little rocky in the beginning. The internet connection wasn't great, but it does smooth out. So just hang in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely worth it. Loved our talk with him. What a great guy, and how many great stories did he have? So this is our interview with Jerry of Vanishing Kids. Yeah, I think Metal Archives is a little confused about you guys because it only it just looks like, I don't know. I think they have it all screwed up because it looks like you're only a recording, part of it. They just always have stuff.
It looks to me like there was a battle to keep you guys out, and then finally they let you in, and they had to put all your stuff up. But there's no comments on anything but the new record.
No, I didn't know about it. Is that like fans put that stuff up, or is the band supposed to do it?
See, the Metal Archives is a really strange website because behind the scenes, they're all arguing about, is a band worthy of being called metal or not? There's so many that are not in the site. And it seems like, just from using it for a long time, you guys were probably a no up until this album. So for some reason, this album was the one that got you in.
But we made it. We're in now, right?
You made it, right? No, but it's cryptic how they do it. So,
Right.
yeah.
All right.
So good for you. Yeah, exactly. So.
So, Miracle of Death. How did you guys come up with? Because usually it's Miracle of Birth. I've never heard the term Miracle of Death. Where does that come from?
Well, actually, that's quite a serious topic. Back before the pandemic, one of the ex-Vanishing Kids members, Lauren, passed away. She used to be the drummer back in maybe like 15 years ago. I never met her. It was during the Portland years. And Lauren was a crazy drummer. I hear a lot of stories about her. I remember she used to perform on stage topless with black tape over her nipples.
Oh, wow.
And just a wild spirit. And unfortunately, she passed away way too young in her 40s back in 2019. And this affected Nikki greatly and affected her songwriting during the Miracle of Death writing sessions. And somehow it just became the theme of the record. I don't think that was intended going in, but with everything going on, the pandemic, we weren't able to play live and all the crap involved with the stupid pandemic. It just became a kind of a somber record. We're not always like that, though. We are quite happy people.
Who's the darkest person in the band, would you say?
I would say that our new guitar player, David Telveroff, is. He's from Jack's Toth. He's been a great addition to the band, and I'm learning so much from him. But there's really nobody's really dark. I could be too, because I used to be in death metal and satanic bands back in the past, so you could say
cool.
I am too. But I have a pretty positive outlook.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you look at Heavy Dreamer next to this one, even the covers are like two different worlds. Where did they come up for this great kind of smudgy, smeary, ghosty looking artwork for this one?
Yeah, we love it.
Jason and Nikki, they seek out great art around the world for their projects. And it's probably Nikki's idea. She's the ringleader of the whole art part of it. And I forgot who it is. I think his name is Marco. He's an Italian artist. And when they showed me that cover, it's one of those covers when you first see it, your first sight is like, whoa.
Yeah.
It just grabs you immediately. And that cover has turned a few of our fans off. They were more into the nice, Heavy Dreamer, colorful thing. Yes, it has, but that was bound to happen. I like when we get the negative stuff. It shows you're getting, a little bit bigger because not everybody's nice to you anymore.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not music for children's birthday parties. You can tell when you see that album cover.
But the kids like it, though. The kids do like the music.
It's great.
We definitely have some favorite tracks off this one. Of course, Spill Into the Dark is amazing. What is that wind chimey thing at the very beginning? Where does that come from?
We had a lot of trouble with that part. I think we were unsure when we recorded it, and it has a lot of effects on it. I'm not even sure it is the wind chime at this point, or what was recorded. I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. It turned out really weird. And I don't know. I don't know. It's up to you to decide what it is.
Yeah,
it's supposed to make you feel at unease. Does it make you feel uneasy though?
Yeah. It's kind of unnerving, kind of like you hear a wind chime before a thunderstorm is going to come, and then your heavy comes in, so it's perfect.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where's like
Thank you.
that analogy come from? Spill into the dark. I like it.
I don't know. I was thinking when we were writing the song that the title should be "The Speed of Dark," but it changed to "Spill the Dark." I think it's when sometimes when life is going good for you, and all of a sudden all these catastrophes happen to you, or in our case, it was the death of an ex-band member came at us, and then the pandemic came at us, and then the stupid American political system pours on us, and everything that all the negative stuff just gets poured on you, and how you react to it, and how you want to continue to survive through all this negativity, and try to come out on the positive side.
For the type of music that you guys play, there's Jason really plays his ass off on the guitar. I mean, there's so many leads. Has he always been like that, or is it is this something new where you decided to add a lot more guitar solos this time?
No, Jason, he's been at this for a long time, and right now he's really hitting his stride as a songwriter and as a player. I call Jason the guitar hero we all need right now, and I truly believe that. And I don't understand why he's not more famous than what he is. It's his passion for the music. He's at home right now, I'm sure, writing songs. He's always has a guitar in his hand, and Vanishing Kids being his main project, he wanted to showcase the talent this guy has. It's obvious, and it's not only the solos itself, it's all the little colors and flourishes he puts in around Nicky's vocals and around the phrases. And if you hear it, it's a lot like Michael Schenker used to do in UFO. It wasn't just a solo in a part of the song; it was all through the song, the little guitar stuff he did. And so it's just been amazing to hear him, just let him go off and do what he does.
Yeah, it's a great effect. It is. So what's your guess on what the name Vanishing Kids means? My guess was that it's growing up, or I could be way off. I don't know.
Yeah, fleeting youth, and especially me. I hate getting older, and when I was young, I did it well, and I like to think that I still can do it well, although at my older age, it's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
It can mean whatever you want to mean. I think that you nailed it.
Yeah, we're all vanishing kids, right? Yeah.
I always say one day your mom called you in for dinner from playing outside for the last time and you didn't even know it.
Yeah.
We know it.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. My mom used to kick our ass out. My mom would be like, see you at lunchtime. Yeah, I mean, that was my era. So anyway.
And see what happens when yeah, me too. And then when they kicked us out, look what we did. We grew our hair long and started listening to the crazy metal music.
That's right. And they couldn't get us back after that. That's the thing. Yeah. So, yeah.
So speaking of guitar, in Demon Love, it sounded very 70s inspired. Was that an influence on there?
Oh yeah, the 70s hard rock scene is one of our main influences, I guess you could say, with Deep Purple, Uriah Heep, and the list goes on, of course. And also, it's Jason's extensive use of that era equipment. His guitars are all from the 70s. He's amps and speaker cabinets from the 70s. He's quite an array of vintage gear, and he's always breaking out, trying different sounds, and it's a conscious attempt to not sound modern anymore, because everybody sounds modern, and we like our spot, in the 70s. It was great music back then. That's the music that I grew up on. Yeah. Those guys are a little bit younger, and it's cool that they hark back to the olden days and use it as an influence in our music, and I think it's going to stick too.
Yeah. In the 70s, everybody had to be able to sing. Like even the bass player, even it was like if you couldn't sing, it was like you couldn't get a gig. Like everybody needed to sing.
Yeah, that's weird with Vanishing Kids. In every band I've been in, I've been the backup singer and been the lead singer in some songs. But in this band, my vocals do not match up with Nikki. She's so good, and while if you stick a microphone in front of me, I might use it, and that might not be what we want right now with Vanishing Kids. So
okay, gotcha.
Maybe next
Yeah.
record I'll get some vocals on it.
I saw some videos of her playing the organ live. I mean, it is very, like you said, Uriah Heep, Deep
Deep
Purple. It's
Purple.
really, yeah, it's a very
Oh,
heavy vibe.
she's a mad keyboardist. You guys should experience the. Listen to you stumble over Nikki Droho My Recce on a previous post, you guys, when you reviewed our record,
Uh-huh.
and just skip it. Just call her Nikki Queen. Just say she's Nikki Queen. You know, all hail Nikki Queen. She's a mad keyboardist, and you have to see her live. You guys really have to see her live and appreciate it. She's such a passionate performer, and I get to be on stage with her every night next to her, and it's been it's just she's my favorite performer of all time to be with. Amazing.
You could really get a taste of that in the video for Spill the Dark. You know, everybody just had, I mean, I know some of it was slow motion, but, you know, just the intensity of, you know, that you could just see her body going and
Oh, yeah.
everybody into it. How was it shooting that? And how long did she have to be on the water?
I was there for that shoot. We were just it was very low budget video. I don't know if that shows or not. She wasn't on the water long. That lake is in southern Wisconsin, and it's right below a bluff. And on the top of the bluff sits our headquarters, where the band rehearsal room, and where we do all the writing and some of the recording and the video shoots. And so we're constantly using it's in an old growth woods there. So we're constantly trying to use all the scenery from the woods and the lake there.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
That was really done to great effect too. I love the candles and the boat and the whole mood. It's really neat. Well done. It didn't look low budget at all.
You know how long it?
What's it like lugging that big organ around to shows?
I was going to say, yeah, we have a lot of big organ. We have a lot of heavy equipment. I don't know what it's like because they don't let me lift anymore. Every time we go on tour, about halfway through, I'm done lifting, and they go, "Get out of here, Jerry! Get out of here!" And so I just stand on the side, have a little drink, and I watch them haul all the gear up. So I don't know. I think it's a heavy organ, though.
Yeah,
it looks heavy.
It looks heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. We talked to John from Hammers of Misfortune, and we asked him, and he was like, "I'm not going on tour. I'm not lugging that thing around." Nope.
Well, he had a Mellotron. He had a 70s Mellotron, and he bragged that he's dragged that out on tour before, and everyone hated him for it.
No, I just remembered the correct answer. The organ Nikki is chopped, so all she has is like the top keyboard part of the organ there. And so the bottom heavy part we don't have to lug around.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm not too up on my organ tech. I'm not quite sure, but I think that's the correct answer.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I wanted a piano growing up, and my parents got me an organ, and I was like, you know, insert your play my organ joke here for the longest time. So I appreciate any woman who ventures out into that.
You didn't learn Deep Purple in your.
No, I did not.
No.
I played stuff like.
Oh,
I remember doing Broken Wings, and I would do the do 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 with my feet. I was like, that's cool.
Mr. Mister.
I never got any more beyond that.
No, I see Mickey carrying her own organ up there on stage. I was worried about her, but she gets it done.
Yeah, cool.
God, yeah, that's got to be crazy. I'd love to see you guys live at some point. You know, really got into that with the Only You video was really good too, as far as like performance intensity. How did you kind of get that strobing cloud effect?
That was all done in post-production. During the recording, I don't know how much effects was there. All I know is they just told me to go, and I don't know if you guys saw the video, but it was they focused a lot on me this time. I don't know if it was like as a favor to me, Jerry. You know, hey, go for it. But so I just gave it my all, and I think I do remember just strobe lights, and I don't think that we really know what the hell we're doing. We just go for it. And kind of what it looks like is what it is. Yeah. So it turned out cool. I love it. You guys see the video?
Oh yeah,
it's good. And I felt like Nikki was channeling her inner Grace Slick during that performance. It was great. Who do
Oh,
you
yeah.
hear her getting compared to most often, and do you agree or disagree?
I've heard the Grace Slick comparison before. I think the biggest one is Susie from Susie and the Banshees. Is probably who I would compare her most to. That's what we get the most to.
Yeah.
But to be fair, she's definitely carving her own niche in heavy metal. Especially, I thought on the song "Midnight Children." I told her that she has done something that's never been done with the vocals across these heavy riffs. I didn't know how she was going to lay the vocals in there, and when I heard it, it was genius, and it's kind of elevated that song. It's going to be the next single and the next video we're doing is going to be for Midnight Children, and she's just breaking new ground, and it doesn't surprise me at all when she does that. Every time I see her, she's got a new song or a new riff or a new way to sing this, and again, it just goes to Nikki Queen. All hail Nikki Queen.
All hail. Yeah.
So another of my favorite track was Forlorn. Obviously, I've got an inkling now who that was about, because I was wondering if there was one. But why? I guess that's why you left out the percussion in that song, huh?
That was another Nikki written number. It never did have any percussion in it, or I never participated at all in the song. She just added a violin, it was all violin, keys, and vocals. And it's a nice contrast to the rest of the record.
Yeah.
Did you have a violinist come in?
Oh yeah, he's a good friend of mine that I played in another band with. His name is Gavin Epperson, and he just came in on one day and we drank a little bit, and he played violin at the end of Split the Dark. He did some work on Demon Glove, and then all through Forlorn. And we're trying to work him to get him back in the live show. We have not been successful bringing our violinist to the live show, but we are working on it because Gavin's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. I play guitar as well, and I'm intimidated when I see a violin player because that fretboard is so small. I'm like, how? You know what I mean? And there's no frets.
No, I know
It's
it.
like,
But
how do you do it?
having those live strings, man, it's always better than the MIDI keyboard stuff. The live strings are it's just outstanding, and you hear all the little glitches and mistakes, and that's how he is. His playing's real. It's not perfect, and I think it blended well.
Yeah.
All with it. To hear those.
How did you get started with playing bass? Were you always a bassist?
Back when I started with guitar, of course, and then when I was 21, my guitar friend came over. He goes, "We're going to start a band, and you're going to play bass." And then he handed me a bass that he had just bought, and so I went, "All right, let's do this." And 4 months later, we were playing live, and I've kind of never looked back. I have 3 or 4 guitars hanging around the house. I haven't touched them in probably 7 years. Literally haven't touched them. Just play bass. So I guess I'm this close to being able to finally be able to play bass correctly. So bear with me. I'm this close.
I think that's how Lemmy started playing bass, actually. I think somebody just said, guess what? You're demoted to bass or something. I think he was guitar initially.
Yeah, that's the same way.
I think I've read that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's how he did it too. He said he never would have made it as a guitar player, and that's basically, I wouldn't have made it as a guitar player either.
Yeah.
So even though the bass is a whole different animal and difficult in its own way. It's not people play bass because they think it's going to be easier, but if you're doing it right, it's not easy.
No, I've always had a big
being
fascination with it. Yeah.
history too. Can you hear the bass on the album? Do you guys hear the bass?
On which one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the mix is really great.
Yeah. On our new record, you can hear the bass. All right. It was a definite decision to keep the rhythm simplistic, so that the melodies and what Nikki and Jason do can slide seamlessly over all what we do, instead of mucking it up with bass lines and drum fills all over. It's a very conscious decision to keep it simple and propel the band upward. Because I think the previous albums used to confuse the listener a lot, and we're trying not to confuse the listener and let them enjoy these great songs that Nikki and Jason wrote.
Yeah.
So, Two Dust is an epic over 9 minute. Was anyone ever tempted to say we should pare it back or just leave it organic?
You were right. Yeah, Nikki was talking about, should we be doing this? Because it's almost like 2 songs. And I've heard some reviewers talk about the length of it, but somebody said it's like a typical Doom album might have that lengthy closer track on it with the long extended solo. And for me, it reminded me of the final song. Technical. It's a song called Dirty Women.
Yeah.
That just stretches on, and it ends with a long epic guitar solo over a repeating rhythm part. And for me, it's just like that. And so when I was writing the parts, I kind of harked back to that Technical Ecstasy record, which is my favorite Sabbath record, by the way. And we almost ended the song in the middle there, but it just fits, you know. And then we would have had to write and put an 8 song on the record, and it would have been too long, and they would have said you can't do it. It's too many songs. So we made it 1 song, so they couldn't cut it.
I actually think it works really well in the placement. So,
Yeah.
you know, and not everyone, some people are afraid to put that out there. So I thought it was really, it just worked.
Oh yeah.
The first time I heard Technical Ecstasy all the way through, there's that one song that Bill Ward sings. I like jumped out of my skin. I was like, is fucking Paul McCartney singing for Black Sabbath now? What is going on?
That is.
You know what I'm talking about? It's really jarring.
I love that album. I've been listening to it since it came out. I was a teenager, and we got the new Sabbath record, and I loved it. And everybody was slagging it, and they still do. And whatever, man. The Backstreet
it's good.
Kid is
It's
that's my model.
It's good. It's just weird that it's not Ozzy. Like when you hear it the first time, it's like, who is this? You know. So and you get used to it. You know. So,
Yeah, I would say.
And that was
okay. What were we gonna say?
last good record, but
Oh yeah.
Technical Ecstasy was Ozzy's last great performance. I think it was all downhill after that.
Yeah, never say die.
Although Jason would like me to say that.
Well, there's always that guy. There's always that guy that says Born Again is my favorite Black Sabbath album. It's like, oh, go away, you know. You just want to wear that hipster T-shirt with that album cover. Go away, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My AI DJ always wants to pick for some reason War Pigs covers for me. I don't know.
Well, while we're geeking out on Black Sabbath, what do you think about the album with Glenn Hughes singing? Because I love that record, Seventh Star. Do you like that album?
Never heard it. So unfortunately, but I do like Glenn Hughes.
It's Glenn Hughes, and he's always. It seems like any project he's in, he always makes it soulful and he's the ultimate spice, you know.
Oh yeah, I see he's still out there gigging and doing stuff. And I'll have to listen. I'll listen to that album later tonight. What's it called?
It's called The Seventh Star, right? And it was supposed to be Iommi's solo album, but the record company made them, make it a Black Sabbath album. But it's Glenn Hughes sounds great on it, and the songs are really good. There's an article that just came out yesterday in it was online, an interview with Glenn Hughes, and he says, I've had a great career. Remember I sent it to you?
Yeah.
I've been hit by a car. I've been pistol whipped. I've done a truckload of cocaine, and I'm still here. It's great. So yeah, if you Google Glenn Hughes 2023, yeah, he's the man. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of that today online.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably true. He's a bass player, and I share similar experiences with Glenn.
Yeah. Well, we have a game that we play on the show.
All right. So I have this is you're going to get 5 random questions, but you're going to pick which ones. I have 100 in front of me. So I want you to pick 5 numbers between 1 and 100.
Yeah.
How about 45, 67, 96, 3, 4.
All right.
Okay.
Let's start with 45. He doesn't know what he's in for.
Okay.
What other career paths did you consider?
I actually did not want a career. I grew up in the 70s and the 60s as a young hippie. And I knew that corporate world and that kind of world was not for me. It's a good thing that I pick up a guitar and play bass, because I would probably be a bum living in a ditch right now. No career, just music.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
I've worked for small companies and I've worked for corporate, and I'd rather work for small. Oh,
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. All right, number 67. Do you have any scars, and how did you get them?
Yeah, I have scars. I have scars on my face, or I had some weird things growing on my face. And what the funny part about that is that the musician's insurance is really sucks as far as getting any medical help. It doesn't exist. There's no musician's insurance, you know. And so I remember one time I had to do I did my own bathroom surgery on one of these bumps in my face, and pulled it out. And then I actually saw a doctor, and he told me that I did a good job on my bathroom surgery. I didn't want to do it. It was coming out. It was like a movie, like that movie. I don't. Oh. And I have another scar. I got shot by an Indian once. It's on my arm. I was in this cave when I was a kid, and I thought it was Indian, and it shot me with an arrow in my arm. Wow! It was a real wild place where I grew up in, wild upbringing.
So. Yeah,
but I think that's all the scars I can remember right now.
Sounds
Well,
like a Wild West.
we interviewed Gene Hoglan, and we asked him that question, and he started showing them all to us, and we were like, no.
What?
All right, 96. If I can get there. There we go. What is the worst pickup line you have ever used or been used on you?
Oh wow. I don't remember any pickup line using one. I definitely have no game, so it wouldn't have come from me. Probably the worst one, I guess, that you get from women, and because it's so obvious, and they they want to go, are you in a band, and then you got to go through that whole thing, which is probably never going to work, you're in a band thing. So I guess that would be it.
I'm in a band. Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people do there. All right, 38. Have you ever watched a soap opera? And which one?
Yeah, I think I got stuck watching them back in the 80s. I remember Luke and Laura. I couldn't tell you which one it was. And I could deal with it if I smoked enough weed. I could deal with watching it, but sober, nope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I would just tune in for Rick Springfield. That was it. I was like,
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Dr. Noah Drake. I still remember that to this day. That's pretty sad. All right, number 4. What is your favorite types of food?
Authentic Mexican tacos with cilantro and onion, the real deal. And the only good thing about Rockford is it's authentic Mexican food. Anywhere you go, it's just great.
That's great.
That's the only good thing about Rockford.
Yeah, I love Mexican too.
Yeah.
I recently discovered this trick. If you take a tortilla and put it over a bowl of foil and spray it with cooking spray and put it in the oven, you end up with one of those little crunchy bowls. Outstanding.
Yeah, Stace is a mad chef. She really is. Yeah.
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's like restaurant quality, like just throw all your stuff in there.
Yep.
So what's coming up next for you guys?
Yeah, like what's the tour gonna be? situation.
But 2024 is going to be an amazing year for Vanishing Kids, which is why I said it's a good time to be one. We're of course on holiday break right now, but when we get back in January, we're going to resume work on more videos. The next one being Midnight Children. We started on, so we're going to finish that. Probably do a video for Demon Glove, and if it's up to Nikki, she'll do a video for every song. Then we'll be doing gigs here and there through the first half of the year. There's no tours for the first half of the year, but we'll end up getting on opening slots for big bands that come to the Madison, Milwaukee, Chicago area. So I'm sure we'll be playing some cool big gigs. But then in July, we start getting busy touring again. The last tour I saw showed us doing an East Coast swing in July, usually from Boston to Atlanta. And I did see St. Vitus in Chicago, and I saw Washington, D.C., which is by you guys, maybe?
Yeah.
Washington, D.C.?
Pretty close.
I saw that on there. That's going to be late July. We have another big Madison hometown show in August. And then there's some things in the works right now as far as joining a bigger band on tour, which I can't divulge right now, but
Okay.
it's in the works. And there's some exciting shit going on right now that I'm not quite sure. This album's took on a life of its own, and it's going to take us places. I don't even know. I was told I'd get my passport, so I assume that means Europe, maybe 2025.
Yeah, all right.
So I'm just trying to stay alive so I can enjoy all this. And also, and then on top of that, in January, we begin work on the new Vanishing Kids record. I've heard some of the songs. It's probably going to be in the same vein as Happy Dreamer, Miracle of Death, although as with every other album, it will sound different. And it's just exciting. It's an exciting time to be a Vanishing Kid.
That's great.
All right. I'm going to set up this tour that I think you should be on. I'm going to put you with Within Temptation, Oriad, Spotlights, and you guys. And we'll get that together. Who would you put if you could pick? Oh, who?
Right now, I would love to tour with Jax Toth.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Jax Toth? Who we stole our guitar player from? Yeah, right now, Jason used to be in Jax Toth 10 years ago. He toured with them in Europe and America. And we stole David Atelveroff, not right now, for David to be in our live band. And even though I can't say what Jax is up to right now, a tour with them would be amazing.
Falling on deaf ears.
This is Deaf Ears 1, Akira Yamaoka with Cyberpunk Edge Runners on soundtrack. Akira Yamaoka, the man who brought us some of the most widely acclaimed video soundtracks of all time, like the Silent Hill series, has returned with Cyberpunk Edge Runners, the accompaniment to a dystopian anime web series based on a video game. Running times are quick, the album packing in 14 songs over 40 minutes, with some variety guests added by Franz Ferdinand and Polish performers Dawid Hasadialo and Martin Przybyłalik. Best known for the Witcher 3 soundtrack, the years have not dulled Yamoka's ability to craft brilliant music that evokes a wide array of moods. The harder, faster material strikes a good balance with wistful, emotive orchestral pieces and piano expressions, giving it a charged cinematic quality that should make this music appealing to a much wider range of the population than just gamers.
There's plenty of high-energy glitch metal to keep us entertained, like Yamako's Sudden Skirmish, a road racing rave perfect for highway speeding. Juiced Up also pounds away with a sick, heavy rolling beat over 2 minutes. But the mellow pieces are the album's most impressive. For example, Like a Boy takes off with harmonized strings and a breathy piano hook against a wistful woodwind-style synth line, like a long-lost Ennio Morricone track from the 70s. The variety is refreshing as well. The Franz Ferdinand opener is funky and danceable with some cool vocal and guitar syncopation. And the vocals on the last song, Let You Down, is a melancholic love song in the vein of early U2.
Not just a soundtrack, but an experience, Cyberpunk Edge Runners is recommended for folks seeking a departure from standard rock albums. So let's play a song. This is Sudden Skirmish.
Deaf Ears 2. This is Joey Valence and Bray with Punk Tactics. Who are Joey Valence and Bray? Essentially a duo of Penn State students taking dork rock to new heights. Punk Tactics is basically a compilation of all their latest singles made into an album. People have compared them to the Beastie Boys and Cypress Hill, but I found the album a lot more filler-free than either of the aforementioned. But there was always that, hey, we play our own instruments thing going on with the Beastie Boys. And those damn instrumental tracks like Ricky's theme never made sense to me.
Ugh.
These guys have none of that. Well, there is a smooth jazz sample called Intermission that frightened me a
I
bit.
started to get the itches from it, but it's only like 30 seconds long. Yeah.
It's over. Punk Tactics is 100% fun from start to finish. Cool samples, sick beats, and songs about things that really matter in modern life like fistfights, Star Wars, internet memes. Get the idea.
Some of my favorite lines from the album include, used to be forces, now V10s. As the money goes up, so do RPMs. In the very Run the Jewels-esque track Kill Bill. Other pearls of wisdom include, I don't do Coke, I do Pepsi. We DIY, we Etsy. And I wrap tight like a Trojan, that woman is a bad omen. But my personal favorite is when he says, with great conviction, shit gets real when I bust out the Crocs. There are touches of punk rock here and there. For example, in the Speeding Street Pizza, which I thought might be a Chrysalis song. I gotta tell you, I enjoyed the hell out of this album, and it doesn't take itself seriously at all. And these two have undeniable skill at writing songs. After a couple of listens, it becomes apparent that this is serious house party music. If you like stuff like that Soul Glow album that came out last year, check out Joey Valence and Bree before they bust out the Crocs on your ass. So let's play a song. This is Dance Now. Deaf Ears 3 is Exiled Hope. The album is Apocrypha. As this modern music era continues to evolve, it seems that more and more genre lines are blurred to create new visions. Add to this trend, one driven, creative, and a force to be reckoned with emerges. I submit to you one Clark Kent of metal, Sophia Fraz, law school student by day, rock goddess at night. When dusk gathers, she creates for us the continuing otherworldly goth metal opera in her solo project, Exiled Hope. Recently, in 2023, she has been releasing singles for what will be the third full length in the saga Apocrypha. This music is dark, vast, melodic metal.
Over For You starts off classical orchestral style with haunted piano melody flickering along like a sunrise brewing. At about the 1 minute mark, it spews into blast beats and hammers of misfortune style of chaos. Vocals floating over the discord, muddling the previous pastels. A riffful guitar solo takes over briefly. Then something I had never heard the likes of, the sounds of a harp with a side of more riffs increasing in speed.
Another favorite track is The Altar of Moloch. Sad, slow strains soon seep into an ominous feel as hangman-style battle drums start to march. The vocals come in hissy and fiend-filled as the drums lose their regimented sound and become more tribal. Those demon-like vocals roll over the underbelly of angelic stanzas following beneath. A cinematic level swell sweeps us up during the bridge. A round of multiple Sophias sing in folkish layers. Beware the sunlight, beware the illumination of everything you thought you knew, to an echoey, eerie effect.
Just when I think I figured out her formula of starting things off softly before queuing up the heavy, the blood of the ancient breaks that theory in two, starting off from note 1 with an instant assault of blast beats and one long scream. The melodic hell for leather riffs are prolific here. Vocals are deep, alto layered melodies. The speed of the music is contrasted by the slower vocals, further casting the spell, sometimes discordant. The wailing priestess returns to wail again.
What is next for this prodigy? I can see Sophia finishing law school and going on a world tour, seeing musician clients on her mobile device tour bus, filing copyrights and writing contracts, and taking the stage at night, spinning her gothic metal opera, with all the knowledge of the ancients and all the gadgets of the modern world. No telephone booth needed. So let's play a song. This is Altar of Moloch. Well, this was a good one.
Yeah, we
I've been anxious to tell people about our salad panic for a long time.
we talked about salads and cocktail names and Vanishing Kids and even Chicago.
And how much is Google actually listening?
A lot. If I even think about something that ends up on my feed, I don't even have to search for it.
Why does your shirt say move your thigh a little higher?
This has been the Snaggletooth Rock and Roll Podcast. Special thanks to Jerry from Vanishing Kids for appearing on the show. Hi, Jerry. Snaggletooth theme courtesy of Jens Kemgren of the Firebombs. Deaf Ears theme by Tim Green of the Fucking Champs. Season 3 artwork courtesy of Casey Angel. You can find him on Instagram, Casey Angel Art. Deaf Ears bands, get over and check out Vanishing Kids as well as Exiled Hope, Joey Valence and Brea, Akira Yamakoa. All content 2024, the Snaggletooth Rock and Roll Podcast.
Shit gets real when I bust out the box.
This is the Snaggletooth Rock and Roll Podcast.